Hello everybody, the Nameless Narcissist here once again. Simple man diagnosed with NPD, giving you the facts about narcissistic personality disorder and things that go on in my head. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, but keep in mind, I am no clinician. I can only speak to my own experiences. Alright, so, I'm pretty active in a lot of communities for narcissistic, okay, actually let's be honest, there's like one community for narcissistic personality disorder, not including my own, and it's not like that's exclusively for people with narcissistic personality disorder. But very often I see people fall into a lot of pitfalls that I did when I first was diagnosed, especially when I was first diagnosed, and hell, some of these I still struggle with to this day. And I kind of wanted to address some of them because they can be rather toxic and impedes healing. And again, I am not calling anybody out in particular. I literally have nobody in mind right now. These are just patterns that I see sometimes. And again, there's a couple of these that I'm like, I haven't really seen anybody else do them, but I definitely did. And I'm like, that's not good. And these are just my opinions, right? You guys might, some people may disagree with me on these, and feel free to echo that disagreement. I'm not saying these as absolute fact. Wow, I'm really protecting myself against the idea that people with NPD are going to see this and then accusing me of calling them stupid or wrong because I'm saying these things and they might possibly do them. Regardless though, I won't get into that. So the first one is that there's this, when I was first diagnosed, I was like, oh, this really does make me special. Oh, I am a master manipulator. Oh, I can read people like a book. And I see people fall into that sometimes. And in fairness, it kind of is something that makes us special, right? We are a pretty rare subset of the population. I am not saying that, but I think it's very reasonable to be like, you have to put that into context. This doesn't make you special because it makes you better than people. Don't get into hierarchical thinking, please. It makes you special because you have a severe disorder that is not great. It's like saying somebody, it's like saying it's like saying dyslexia makes somebody special, right? Technically, yeah, it does, right? It's still something you have to work on and cope with. And there are, in contrast though, there are certain benefits to it, but there's a lot of pitfalls too. We have to learn to use our disorder in ways that are constructive and that aren't harmful to ourselves or others. That one's, I see that one so much. I really do. It's like, why would I heal? I don't see that. Okay, I never see a diagnosed narcissist say that. I see a lot of self-diagnosed ones say that. I'm not saying people who are self-diagnosed, because there are situations where you can't get a diagnosis or like can't afford a therapist or whatever. I'm not saying that those people are wrong. I'm talking more about the edgy teenagers who cling on to the diagnosis because it's like, oh man, I'm so evil, look at me. And then the second one is, and this one is so hard, the second one, because there's such a thin line, is hiding your disorder from everybody. I do not blame anybody for hiding their disorder, right? I've had a lot of issues with this myself, and I still try to hide it sometimes. I can't as well nowadays, since it's like, well, one, I'm self-aggrandizing about having my social media presence and being like, yeah, I spoke at a conference in Norway and stuff like that. But also just because people find my shit. A lot of people in my life have found my shit. It has surprised me, honestly. But it's not always the best thing to do that. You need to find somebody who you can trust to share this disorder with, because what is hiding the disorder? It's hiding the self. It's leaning in to a part of the pathology. I'm not saying go and like fucking announce it to everybody you know, right? Because there's a lot of stigma that goes with this. A lot of people are not going to take that well, or they're going to say that they take it well, then they're going to view everything you do through this lens of narcissism and assume everything you do is manipulation. Trust me, I have been there. I get it. But hiding it from everybody is not the move. And hell, even if it's like in online communities where you talk about your disorder and be open and honest with it, that vulnerability is such an important step in your healing. I guess it's not so much hiding the disorder, it's hiding it from everybody that I'm advocating against. Okay, this one, I keep saying, oh man, this applies to a lot of people. This one I think is the most prominent. The manipulation, how we have a tendency to be like, yeah, we are the best people at manipulating. Yeah, like us narcissists, we got that. I'm sorry, and like I struggle with this one too. Again, I like kind of have that in the back of my mind, being like, yeah, I can manipulate better than anybody. I choose not to, but I can do that. We aren't that good at manipulating. Nobody is. Want to know why? Because most people take what we say at face value. Yes, we are constantly questioning the motivations of everybody we come across, right? Everybody else, though, not everybody else, a lot of people, though, are kind of like, they're going to take your word because they have no reason not to, unless you've broken that trust before. It doesn't mean we're good at manipulating. It means we're willing to manipulate. And, you know, if you're healing, you know, you shouldn't be manipulating anyway. I hope you aren't, or at least, okay, we view everything as manipulation, right? You know, comforting somebody to us feels like manipulation. Everything feels like manipulation and fake and a lie or whatever. I'm not talking about that shit. Just the grandiose ideas of how we view our manipulation and our capacity to manipulate. And then this one I don't view as bad, but it's something that I think a lot of people need to hear. This next one is when we get really down on ourselves, right? Because, you know, I always say, borderline split on other people, we split on ourselves. We start thinking that we're monsters. We think that we're beyond redemption. We start thinking we're bad people, horrible people. And like that, we just kind of ruminate on that. Sorry, Jesus. And I get it, I really do. Because there's an innate feeling there of being a flawed, bad, shitty person. But you have to pay attention to the language that you're using, right? Because to some degree it is a coping mechanism. Think of the word monster. There's some power in that, right? And like, I guess sometimes it's not like that, it's like pathetic, but that's still splitting. We're still splitting on ourselves. We're talking about ourselves in all good or all bad. And again, if we were the worst person ever, there's some grandiosity in that. And I think it's healthy to recognize that when you're having that negative self-talk, to be like, wait, I'm fucking bad at it. Honestly, I'm really bad at it. So I don't blame anybody else for being bad at it either. But when you're getting down on yourself like that, be like, how much of this is pathologically, you know, like extreme? We're all in shades of gray, right? Even when you feel like you're the shittiest person in the world, I guarantee you probably did something good in your life. How can you be absolutely terrible and a monster if you've done something good in your life? Even one good thing, that means you're not completely bad. This also applies to people who kind of lean, and this is kind of ties into the first one too, who lean into being bad. It's like, yeah, I'm a fucking shitty person. I don't give a fuck. Because you do give a fuck. That is a grandiose defense mechanism. That's a defense mechanism that you're, like, I used to call myself the devil. Like, I am not joking, or a fallen angel and shit like that. Because I was like, yeah, I'm shitty. I own it. I'm going to be shitty, and I'm trying not to be, but I'm a shitty person, and I acknowledge that. That is a defense against that innate feeling of badness. A lot of people didn't understand that. A lot of people did not like me saying that about myself because it made them uncomfortable, whatever. Piss off, you assholes. But it's a coping mechanism. It's taking pride in the thing that we hate about ourselves. It's defending against that thing that we actually are very secure about. And I think some people want to fight me on that one. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I mean, hey, if you're cool with it, whatever. I'm not telling anybody what to do right now. I'm just think these are things that I have struggled with that I think other people should look out for. And the last one is, this is just general advice. This isn't even, I don't think this is going to take anybody by surprise. Well, like, you gotta find healthy ways to get your needs met. You can't I see a lot of narcissists who are like, I'm going to self-isolate for the rest of my life because I only hurt people. And so, again, black and white thinking, I only hurt people, I'm a terrible person, blah, blah, blah. No, you can't fucking do that. You'll kill yourself. I shouldn't say that. But, like, you cannot live a healthy life. We're always going to struggle with self-esteem. That is a fact. To some degree. Like, as we go on our healing, hopefully we struggle with it less and less. We still need to deal with that, though. And isolating and refusing its self-esteem juice because we think we want to hurt everybody is not the way to go about that. That's not healing. That's more self-deprecation. God, it sounds like I'm being aggressive. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be. I'm not telling anybody what to do. These are just that anger that I'm expressing is more towards myself and how stupid I've been in my life. Not to say anybody who believes these things are stupid, but my anger at myself because I feel like these things impeded my healing. And maybe they don't impede everybody's healing. Right? But again, like, you can't just, God, I see so many people who, like, we take on those avoidant traits. We're like, we feel so ashamed and that, like, everyone's judging us, and we realize the people we hurt, that's not prophetic. That doesn't have to be the rule for the rest of our lives. It's just, and like, hell, even in the worst throes of your disorder, I doubt everything you did was bad. Self-sacrificing, self-enhancement, right? We're probably doing good things for people just because we want to be seen as better or get approval or feel good about ourselves or whatever. Again, it's all black and white thinking. All of it. That was just my little rant right there, just because, I don't know. I feel like because of the stigma and the inaccurate portrayals that a lot of media gives about our disorder, that because we use other people to define ourselves, that we really get sucked into that in ways to cope with our disorder, especially since there's no cohesive, like, treatments for it, that people are like, oh yes, this works for literally all narcissists. We don't have a DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy for borderlines, you know, for narcissists. We don't have that. We don't have a treatment specifically for us. And like, I always say that like 53% of narcissists go into remission. That's awesome, right? Like, that blows most people out of the water when they hear that. They're like, what? That many people get healed? But you gotta remember, 47% is still huge that we don't get healed. And that's not because of us. You know, they call us treatment resistant, but it's more because therapists haven't found a treatment that works for us. And instead of trying to work towards a better treatment, they want to blame us for not being able to be treated. It's like, sorry, how about you fucking do something? How about you like do something that's not, oh, practice positive self-talk. Oh, just love yourself. Oh, like, be kinder to yourself. That doesn't, I know I kind of said be kind to yourself when I didn't say be kind to your, and clarify, I wasn't saying be kinder to yourself when I was talking about like the splitting in terms of self-hate and stuff like that. I'm just saying recognize that it's splitting, right? So that you don't get completely caught up in it. You're still going to have the self-hate. I don't know how to fucking get rid of the self-hate. But it's important to recognize it for what it is, even if you're still feeling it. Because I don't want anybody to do some things that they're going to regret in reactions to that. Still, I hope I didn't come off as too aggressive. I apologize. I feel I got a little passionate there, and I'm tempted to re-record this because I don't want to come off as somebody. Narcissist, this is what you have to do, idiot. Because that's not what this is. It's just things that I've struggled with and my own anger at myself because I look back on it being like, man, I can't believe I did that and stuff like that. Yeah, whatever. That's basically it. Just a little, maybe I'm stuck in self-hate right now. Whatever, guys. Take your fucking meds.